Hello and welcome to Challenger Virtual Season 5, Round 4. Let's start off with a recap of the current championships. We got the World Drivers' Championship currently headed by Iceberg after he won the Spanish C-Prix. Behind them are both of the RBRs at 30 points each. Then it is Senior Papi of Papi Pops. Priya, Julo having a good season so far. Butter with 2 P5s, 3 tokens each. Doing okay, but not the best. Suicide, Fast Juicer, Charge JT, Quetzly, Nandi, Vaporeon, Todd Sod with 6 points from 1 token, Enigma, Corvid, Juan, and Stefano with 1 point from no tokens at all. Amwar and Kraft, the only drivers yet to score any points, but that might change today. It really depends on the token spend. Let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship, and we have Acer Audi leading in the promotion spot by 5 points, 65 points overall. Russell British Racing have used up most of their tokens now. They are at 60 points though, looking to have a great first season, not looking to be troubled by any relegation, any prospect of relegation at all. Papi Pops currently in 3rd, but they're ramping up slowly and surely. Matessa in 4th. Close behind them are Nuri Racing Team, KRT in 5th. Polish National Racing Team underperforming at the start of the season. They're currently in 6th. Hurricane in 7th, having a similar issue. Team Alpha Prime in 8th. Just missed out on relegation last time around, so did Motor Evid, but they are now in 10th. Dan and Flo are in 9th, but they have a vast majority of their tokens still available to spend, so I don't think we'll see them in that conversation. But yeah, let me start the pre-qualifying to the actual qualifying, and we will see how everything ends up in the end. Let's take a look at the car stats. We have Papi Pops racing with a successful speed upgrade. Acer Audi only managed a successful grip upgrade, so Papi Pops move a 0.4 car performance index ahead, but those two teams are definitely way ahead of the rest by 0.6. That's an entire speed upgrade over Polish National Racing Team, who are rated 3rd best. They've also had a successful grip ahead of this round for their home race. Of course, the national team, and they are going to be racing here in Poland. HRT not succeeded any upgrades. Matessa succeed both speed and grip, jump up to 3.0, tied with Danuplo, who didn't get any upgrades, and Russell British Racing, who got double grip upgrades. So all 3 of these teams at 3.0, very close to Polish National Racing Team as well. That's sort of the midfield in terms of the car performance index. KRT and Motor Evid both don't get any upgrades. Meanwhile, Team Alpha Prime get a speed and an acceleration upgrade, which is really, really good for them, as they move from the worst card on the grid to only the 4th worst car. They lead this back marker pack of HRT and KRT and Motor Evid. We'll have to see how that goes, because KRT are in a very decent position so far in the Constructors. HRT are in an alright position as Motor Evid and Team Alpha Prime, who should be most concerned with scoring those points. And Polish National Racing Team, of course, 3rd best car on the grid, but they're struggling so far despite spending tokens, and I guess we'll see what happens there. But let's get into the qualifying, and I'll take you through the token spend during qualifying as well. Yeah, let's just jump right in here. It's 3 minutes, fully ghosted qualifying. Boost every lap only for the qualifying session, so every single lap is a push lap, except of course by nature the first lap. Let's take a look at the token spends. Who are spending 4 tokens at this track? It's Priya, spending that amount with UR2D as well as Kraft. Right after successful upgrades for Team Alpha Prime, looking to score his first points this season and make it big points as well. Free tokens being spent by Pappy from Pappy Pops, Juan from Polish National Racing Team, who we saw start on the front row in Valencia, but then start on the hards and in the end finish only 10th. So that is something that he really needs to improve on. Free tokens also being spent by Fast Juicer, who impressed in Jeddah when he spent 3 tokens and got second. He was in the fight for the win as well, but Shiloh with 4 tokens managed to seal that deal. For Russell British Racing, 3 tokens also being spent by both of the Danube Flow Racing drivers, Todd Sod and Stefano, so we'll see how they do right now. They are locking out the front row, which is just insane. Oh, but look at the changes. Anyways, 2 tokens being spent by Corvid from HRT, Hnandi from KRT, and Shiloh from Russell British Racing, who is currently on provisional pole. That is incredible. Look at that Fast Juicer going fast. Juan also going faster than Priya on this lap. That is very interesting. Priya is currently qualifying in 5th. Pappy on the front row just at 10th behind Shiloh. Let's see, what can Fast Juicer accomplish here? It is a 34.65. Fast Juicer on provisional pole. Juan takes the front row spot. Priya is still down in 5th here. And we've not got many more laps remaining. I believe 2 or 3 more as we reach the final minute of qualifying. Priya's going fast now. Pappy's also in this lead pack here, which can somewhat tell us who's going the fastest, but you can see Shiloh's detached there and he is still 3rd fastest in qualifying. And here goes Juicer across the line, is only 35.33. Priya improves, and so does Pappy, who goes sub 35 just like Fast Juicer. He's on the front row. Priya doesn't manage to gain any positions with her improvements. Stefano provisionally in 6th, and Todsod is only provisionally in 9th. Which is interesting. Kraft is provisionally in 7th, with 4 tokens being spent. Shallow really outperforming himself. Fast Juicer to some extent as well, as there's 4 token spender with vastly a better car than him, but he does not improve, and we are still having 1 more lap. Corvid improves up to 5th, incredible improvement. Nandi improves up to 11th. Iceberg currently is up in 9th, tokenless, so that is an incredible stuff from him. Suicide is only 16th fastest tokenless, and that's in a better car according to the car performance index, but Pappy looks to be on a really solid lap now. Can he deliver another sub 35 and get pole position here? Juan is going fast. Pappy Pops doesn't go fast, and Juan improves up to the front row. Nobody else looks to be improving here. Nandi improves, still only 11th fastest. Amor crosses the line, will not improve, neither will Enigma. They lock out the back row. Let's take a look at the qualifying results here today. Here we go, and what a cred we are having. Let's just bring back up the token spends just to compare. Fast Juicer with 3 tokens and car stats as well. 3 tokens in the joint 4th best car. He takes it on pole position despite Pappy spending the same amount, and he is in a way better car here. He's only lacking he's got 1 less grip than the Matessa car. Everywhere else the Pappy Pops car beats it. But it's Fast Juicer on pole position, and Juan takes another front row. Will he manage to keep it this time? He's spending 3 tokens as well, and that's incredible stuff for him. Pappy spending 3, starts from 3rd. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and he's looking good regardless. Shiloh only 2 tokens, and he is up in 4th in qualifying. Incredible stuff for him. Corvid the same, with an even worse car. 2 tokens only spent, and he is qualified up in 5th. But can those 2 drivers keep that? at the race start, as we've got Priya right behind them, spending all 4 tokens, qualified only 6, but those tokens can really help her bring it up to the very top and challenge for that win. Stefano spending 3, starts from 7th. Todd Salt only starts from 10th. Very surprisingly disappointing qualifying for the 2 Danube Flow drivers, but they might be able to improve in the race, of course. It's a very even playing field. Usually here in Challenger Virtual Races, Kraft spending 4 tokens, only qualified 8th, might look for the same kind of rise as Priya Iceberg, tokenless, qualifies up in 9th. That is very incredible stuff. And if you look at the Audi Acer car, they have the highest acceleration and the joint highest grip, and that, I think, those 2 statistics will really help anyone at the Białowieża track. Looking down the order, Nandi spending 2 tokens, starts from 11th, not too bad. Kader, tokenless, starts from 12th. That's the second best tokenless result in qualifying. Charge AT, everyone from here on out looks to be tokenless indeed. So Charge AT starts from 13th, Vaporeon from 14th, Gwetzly Boy from 15th, Suicide surprisingly only from 16th with the Pappy Pops cars, Julo from 17th, Barlord from 18th, and Motor Evid not spending any tokens. They lock out the back row. Enigma ahead of Amwar, who has still not scored any points, but that is what the grid is looking like. And here today at Tor Białowieża for the Polish C-Prix, we will have 30 laps, hopefully 30 laps of intense action, and let's get straight into the race. Here we go. Fast Juicer starts on softs. Both Juan and Pappy start on the hards. Shiloh, Corvid, Priya on the mediums. Stefano from behind on the softs. So is Kraft and Iceberg, and they can have a very fast start. But Juan is already trying to fight for the lead this time. It doesn't look like he's dropping. At least not yet. Not as fast as he did in Valencia, but the risk of going for hards again is understated. Priya's cutting in. She's already up to 4th. Incredible stuff. Shiloh is in 6th right now. Kraft in 8th, fighting with Iceberg, but it's Fast Juicer in the lead of the race so far. Pappy boosts across, and we're going to have a rain, so it doesn't matter what tire you're driving. It matters where you are right now, and that fact that Pappy is just easily pulling away on hards from these soft runners. Stefano is up fighting for the podium now. Priya's down to 5th. Kraft is also making progress here, but it's Pappy leading the race. Stefano fighting Fast Juicer for 2nd. Fast Juicer gets past him, and the rain comes in, and it's going to be heavy rain, so all the drivers who pitted earlier onto the enters might be struggling now. Butter and Nandi dropped down to 16th, but he did pick the wets, which is the right choice, I believe. But it's Pappy and Fast Juicer now looking to separate from the rest of the pack as they fight for the lead, but don't count out Stefano. Definitely don't count out Priya. Juan is down to 5th now after a front row start. Kraft is behind him looking for a great result for Team Alpha Prime. Corvid happy just staying in 7th for now with 2 tokens. That is incredible stuff. Shiloh with 2 tokens down to 8th already, but points is points. Todd Sod spending 3 behind him. Iceberg still running in points, tokenless right now. Nandi is having the worst time of his life. He's down in 18th, spending 2 tokens. This is a recovery drive not unlike his recovery drives in Ultimate League. Fast Juicer is comfortably into the lead of the race. That's because Pappy's been cut up to by Priya, who now is just driving. The traction, the speed is unbelievable. Priya's catching Fast Juicer without a care in the world. looking to take that win for Acer Audi Sports and continue the solid progress they've been having on trying to get into Ultimate Virtual, and she overtakes Fast Juicer at the start of lap 5. With the fastest lap, it's Priya into the lead of the race. Kraft is up into 4th. Stefano, Juan, Shiloh is ahead of Corvid now. Todd Sod, Charge AT, Tokenless on the enters looks to be profiting. He's up into 10th now. Iceberg has dropped down to 17th. It's a massacre at the back. Hernandi is already up in 13th, and Butter making some progress too on the wets. Very hard to tell whether the wets or the enters are the best here. It looks like Charge AT is doing just fine. Fast Juicer is still fighting Priya for that win, and he is back into the lead of the race. This has allowed Pappy to catch them up. Kraft is also in the conversation here, and I feel like these four are the main people who could take this win, and we won't know until the end of the race. Right now we're back to light rain, but the track is still completely wet. Stefano is holding on. Oh, look at that. Juan forces Shiloh wide, gets a penalty. Todsod detaches himself from the pack. As a result, Kader is now up into 10th, beating that enter strat of Charge AT. Nandi back into 12th. He's got to score points here at least. It's Butter behind him, boosts his way past. Fast Jusher still holds on to the lead of the race. Priya, Pappy, Kraft, and Stefano, the top 5 here in their own element. Stefano looking to make his way past Kraft, but he is unable to just find that move. Todd Sod in a world of his own in 6th currently. Then it's Juan, Corvid, Shiloh, and Kader still running those tokenless points. Incredible stuff from the Colombian driver, but we're still on a wet track. I think enters will be improving now as Butterlord tries to catch Joe, but now his tires will struggle against Joe's, who's looking to close down that gap back to Kader and regain 10th position. Juan, 3 tokens going in 7th, currently better than 10th, but he's once again dropped back from the front row start. So Pappy is now in front of Priya with a really fast start on this lap, using all of that boost. Oh my god, goes wide, even touches a little bit of grass, but it's not enough to slow her down. She was stuck fighting Kraft and Pappy, and now she is right on the back of Fast Juicer. All of these drivers on the wets, however, and Charge AT in 10th is the highest one on the enters. Nandi struggling once again. Butterlord is past Kader now, having a good tokenless race as well. Fast Juicer still in the lead. Kraft is up into 3rd. Pappy shuffling down the order. Stefano's now past him for 4th. Corvid is the first one into the pits onto a dry set of mediums, and I mean the track is about to dry, so I think he's timed it perfectly. Joe stays out on those enters. He's able to do that, of course, as the enters. Gwetzley does so as well, but the question is, will this overcut actually work for them? Butter is out on the mediums. Vaporeon's also stayed out on the enters, and Priya's back into the lead of the race. She's gone for mediums, so has Fast Juicer, so has Kraft. Stefano onto the softs, and Pappy onto the hards. Todd Sod also onto the hards. Juan onto the softs. Shiloh, one of the final drivers to pet, the final one off the wets. He's onto mediums, and now Joe of the enters. Did his overcut strategy work? He exits, and he's just side by side with Butter. Gwetzley drops back down to 15th, but he is on the softs. He might be able to catch and surpass Kader and Nandi here. Vaporeon exits out in last, so it didn't work for him. Priya and Fast Juicer top 2 positions here looking to fight. We're going to have Clouds back soon, only 12 laps out of 30 driven so far. Stefano edging out Pappy, and meanwhile Kraft has just dropped back on those mediums. But Pappy on the hards, incredible speed. It's like he's slowing himself down by using the hards instead of the softs or the mediums. Fast Juicer back into the lead of the race. Him and Priya have really just been shuffling between themselves which one of them. Oh, and we're going to have heavy rain. This is great news for Fast Juicer and Priya, who have gotten a bit more of a gap to Pappy behind as he's on the hards. He is, of course, slower no matter how fast he makes it through the turns. It's great news for Fast Juicer and Priya, in my opinion. Tossalt first one to pit, followed by Juan, Corvid, Shiloh, Charchi T still out in 10th. And it's going to be light rain soon. Will that make anyone pit for the inters instead? That's the question here, because the track is at inters conditions right now. No, it looks like everyone's opting for the wets here. Fast Juicer leading lap 13 out of the pits. Priya and Pappy, Stefano, and Todd Sod is up in 4th actually. He did pit earlier for the wets, and look at that, it's promoted him from just being in 6th by himself. He's up in 4th, right behind Pappy. That is great play from Todd Sod. Stefano and Kraft bumped down a position. Juan actually pretty close to Kraft. Now only 2 seconds behind. Then Corvid, Shiloh, Charge AT still running at tokenless points. Looks to have run away from Suicide and Butterlord. Fast Juicer and Priya definitely one of the closest battles right now, as well as Barlord and Hinandi, but they're not battling for points. It's Fast Juicer and Priya for the win, and Fast Juicer has the fastest lap of 35.12. He's improved 4/10 on Priya's after Todd Sod just beat Priya's by 100, but it's Priya now into the lead of the race. Look how quickly Pappy's caught up on the wets. Incredible stuff, and he's already there looking for a fight with Fast Juicer and Priya down the line, but they have to be careful here. Pappy sets the 2nd fastest lap of the race. They have to be careful here not to lose Priya while still trying to battle each other for position, as all of them are lapping Kader now, who's dropped down to 15th. Fast Juicer's back up to the back of Priya. Pappy has been cautious, but that means he's not as close to them as they are to each other. Fast Juicer struggles a bit past Kader, but there he goes. Deploys a bit of boost, stops for Priya deploying boost at the same time. Fast Juicer deploys boost once again. He's past Priya into the lead of the race. And I think Priya's biggest struggle here, if you look at the car stats, it's that 2 speed. Pappy pops a 4, and look at that, Pappy trying to get past Priya now, but has to go wide with Gwesley, the lapped car also involved, and it's letting Fast Juicer gain some time. But yeah, you got Matessa with 3 speed, Pappy with 4, Acer Audi only down at 2 speed, but they are really benefiting from that Excel and Grip 5 on both for Acer Audi, and that is helping them along. Fast Juicer out onto the hards. Is he planning for this to be the final pit stop? He does. It's a very interesting move, as Priya and Pappy, both of the drivers behind, have opted for softs, which means they are catching Fast Juicer rapidly. Look at that. I mean, that's of course obvious. The question is, can they keep that going? Priya actually fails to overtake Fast Juicer, but now on this final straight, you got Biała Wieża. There she goes. She boosts across the line easily into first. However, Pappy's still behind. Let's take a look down the field, because I've been neglecting that part of the race for a bit. It's just a very interesting fight for the lead we're having. Todd Sod still running in 4th. Kraft has improved up to 5th. He's past Stefano now, who's down in 6th. Juan has fallen behind them after catching up to them during the 2nd rain. He's in 7th. Shallow running in 8th, but Corvid close behind. In ninth, Charge AT looks to be easily getting home that singular tokenless point to help Juan along a bit, and Pappy down the inside on Fast Juicer, but they do lose Priya a bit as she just drives away. Fast Juicer loses both of them. Pappy just boosts straight up to the back of Priya. Incredible stuff. Juicer will just be hoping to stay as close to them as he can, like a second behind, 2 seconds maximum. And Pappy, in the middle of a lot of lap traffic, boosts past Priya, sets the fastest lap of the race at 34.97. Great stuff. First sub 35 of the actual race. Got Butterlord, Fast Juicer's teammate, looking to slow down. Drivers ahead a bit to help Fast Juicer. I think he's contributed to that goal at least. Priya and Pappy definitely have to pit again. I think Fast Juicer will have to pit again as well. Hard to say on that. He pitted with 12 laps to go. These hards can do 9 to 13, but will he actually do 12 laps on these hards? I think that is a bit of an overstatement, but he is in a good position anyway, spending 3 tokens to finish at least on the podium. That's at least 5 points per token, which is solid. Second place would mean 6, which is even better, and first place, of course, means about 8. Or over 8, which is just very good token spend. Priya with her personal fastest lap of 35.12. Pappy sets a time 3 times slower than her. Fast Juicer, however, really going slow on these hards. He's now 3 seconds behind the top 2, and of course those are the top 2 best cars as well. Todd Sod and Stefano, it's a 4-5 for the new Plo at the current moment, as Kraft has pitted onto a set of fresh mediums, and I think that will be his final pit stop. Priya's and Pappy's softs are wearing out, however they're still setting just faster laps than Fast Juicer's hards for now, but I think this might be the lap where that turns the other way. Definitely pit this lap or the next lap for softs. Wonder what Fast Juicer's plan is here though. He has caught up to them. They're both into the pits. Fast Juicer is out in the lead of the race. It's not that considerable. They're on fresh softs. Fast Juicer's gone for the 12 lap hards, but the only real way it'll help him is if he can really go that fast. If he can stay ahead or close before the softs finally start wearing off at the end, if he can beat them, and if 12 lap hards can even fight with those 6 lap old softs, as they've already halved their gap to Fast Juicer. Looks like Priya and Pappy have done the right strategy call. Stefano and Totsod, and even more worn hards than Fast Juicer Totsods into the pits. Clouds coming soon. Priya's actually detached herself from Pappy considerably. She struggles to get past Julo, Fast Juicer into the back of Enigma, and Priya is through into the lead of the race now. 4 tokens after all. We're getting cloudy weather. Are we gonna see rain to spice up the ending of this race? Basically just save Fast Juicer from his fate. Pappy, Stefano's actually now right behind Pappy, but those are worn hards. No, it's gonna be sunny. Great news for Pappy Pops, for Senior Pappy, who still needs to catch Fast Juicer here. Horrible news for Fast Juicer, as those hards definitely wearing much worse than Priya's and Pappy's softs. Double softs was the right call. Stefano also struggling on the hards. Graf, of course, took those mediums about 9 or 8 laps before the end. So he's fine. Todd Sod on fresh softs, but I don't think he'll be able to catch anyone. He is, however, catching them quite quickly. Fast Juicer, you can see, really losing Priya now, and Pappy is through into second place. And he laps Vaporeon round the outside. Very nice move there as he looks to chase down Priya. Fast Juicer is up in third. Closest person behind him is Stefano, who's on the same level of worn out tires. Kraft still 3 seconds behind Stefano. Priya leads lap 28. It's the final 2 laps of the race. Pappy improves his personal best fastest lap, another sub 35, but Priya also managed to get sub 35. Fast Juicer still going on those hards. Surprisingly closer to Pappy than he is to Priya. He turns on the boost now, but he doesn't have a lot of boost left. Priya has some boost saved up, and Pappy is really struggling to close down that gap ahead. As the softs are finally starting to wear, Priya has so much boost saved up for the final lap of the race. Well, doesn't look like Pappy can even catch her without a boost advantage. And now with a complete boost disadvantage, Priya is set to win here in Białowieża for the Polish C-Prix. Once again 1.5 seconds behind, but that's not close enough at all. Priya goes round the last hairpin, and now this beautiful right-hander, and Priya wins the Polish C-Prix, and it's Pappy who finishes in second. 1 token less spent. Fast Juicer makes it third. Stefano finishes in fourth. Kraft will cross the line in fifth. Todd Sod in sixth. Was personal fastest lap. Juan crosses the line in 7th. He beats out Shadow, is 2 seconds behind. Crosses the line in 8th. Corvid will cross the line in 9th, and despite Hernandy's best efforts and everyone else's, Charge AT gets Polish national racing team an extra tokenless point. Finishes in 10th. Great stuff from the British driver. Oh, and Butter has been in a collision with Juan. Doesn't look to have affected any results. Butter still crosses the line in 11th. Suicide in 12th. Hernandy in 13th. Iceberg in 14th, yep. After good tokenless qualifying. Kader in 15th. Gwetsley Boy in 16th, Amwar in 17th, still yet to score points this season as we're halfway through, but he will be spending some tokens eventually. Crosses the line in 17th, just ahead of Vaporeon in 18th, 19th, Enigma, and 20th for Julo of KRT. Fastest lap goes to Priya, all 26 points to her. And that was round 4 of Challenger Virtual. We'll see you next week for the famous track in Lithuania, the inaugural Lithuanian C-Prix at Palanga. We'll see you then.